This week on Corbin's Ride On, we'll check out the cutting edge for custom do-it-yourselfers. Plus, in Shop Talk, we'll troubleshoot your bike's fuel injection system. But now, we're on the fly with the mustache guy, Dennis Gage, at one of the coolest bike shows ever. So hold on tight. Riding into History is an annual event held at the World Golf Village just north of St Augustine, Florida. It's a fantastic place to display a breathtaking collection of some of the great bikes of motorcycling's world history.
Well, Riding in History is a celebration of the motorcycle. We want the whole public to know that motorcycling has a great history of beautiful machinery. A lot of people know motorcycles as those things going down the street with the loud pipes. And we really want to show them it's a lot more than that. It's tremendous history from all over the world.
The German bikes are what interests me the most, so that's why I put it on my calendar. We got everything here from British to American to Italian.
It's absolutely fabulous. It's very, very difficult to accumulate this number of fancy and fabulous motorcycles in one spot at any one time, and this is an outstanding display.
It's great. It's my first time here. I've heard nothing but good stuff, so I had to come and see it, and it's a first-class event.
Well, number one, it is a charity event. Every penny we make goes to charity, so there's no self-serving element. Everybody here is a volunteer, not one paid staff member. People work year-round on this event, and we really try to get the top quality motorcycles in the country here. And we think we have the prettiest spot on earth just to show off these bikes.
Came back because, well, let's look around. This ambiance, the feeling, where do you get to see this many motorcycles and walk around in this kind of weather? This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It's really couldn't be a more perfect setting, as well as a pretty darn nice day too.
Well, I think for one thing, you got to admit it's good weather down here. And for us Eskimos that live up north, it's really good weather. But it's in a good surrounding, and it's a circular drive, you know. They're not jam-packed in a hall, they're not jam-packed in a car park. Here you got green grass, you know, you can walk around, you can stop by and have something to eat or drink or an ice cream and carry on, and you know. And before you know where you are, you're back at the beginning.
It's open to the public. We charge a nominal fee to get in. All the money, of course, goes to charity. We don't charge anybody anything for entering their motorcycle in the event.
I felt that it was a very, very neat event, in not only that we got so many great motorcycles here, but it's also serving to help a charity.
Buddy Check 12 was founded about 13 years ago in Jacksonville, Florida by Jeannie Blaylock, the anchor person of First Coast News. And she's helped thousands of women catch breast cancer in the early stages. There are over 500,000 people registered in her program, not only in Jacksonville, but all over the United States and now internationally.
We've got to know the people who are in charge of this. They are absolutely dedicated to the cause. They love motorcycles and they love doing stuff for the community, and we'd like to be a part of that when we can.
When you look at a lot of the modern bikes, they're all the same. When you look at Italian bikes, they're like women, they're all different. You know, shape, size, whatever.
There's a lot of bikes I haven't seen in a long time here. I got to see some last year. My favorite happens to be the Scott Supercharged Road Racer over here. Did you get to see that? Where have you ever seen a Scott Supercharged Road Racer?
They have character to them. You know, they're not computer designed. They had somebody there actually with a pencil and paper and maybe a slide rule, and they designed them.
This year we're lucky to have Dennis Gage here as our Grand Marshal. That was kind of number one on our wish list. At Dennis' request, we put together a special vintage ride. We offered him to go for a ride, and he said, gosh, wouldn't it be neat if we could do all vintage bikes? So we got about a dozen old vintage bikes together and went riding around the countryside, and we really just had a blast. Dennis brought his toaster tank BMW down. and he was leading the way. And we had a great time riding around through St. Augustine and all of North Florida.
Hold on, Grand Marshal Dennis Gage lets down the only hair he has. Plus, more from the Riding into History Concourse, next on Corbin's Ride On. This year's Riding into History motorcycle show at the World Golf Village included a spectacular vintage run featuring a cool collection of flashes from motorcycling's past. Rolling through the St. Augustine backroads with Grand Marshal Dennis Gage in the lead on his '73 Toaster Tank Beamer. Jack Wells brought 17 motorcycles to the event, plus one Swiss Army bicycle. But we had to find out what was up with this machine, a vintage Abingdon King Dick.
An Abingdon King Dick was produced by the Abingdon Tool Company in Abingdon, England, from the turn of the century, about 1895 or so, on through 1933. The owner eventually changed the name from an Abingdon motorcycle to King Dick. He had a prize bulldog, and he wanted a more catchy name for his motorcycle company, so he called it the King Dick. And he produced several models, a single, which mine is a 500cc single, and also some twin-cylinder motorcycles. So it's a pretty big thumper, really, you know, a nice sized machine. It was built around basically similar to a bicycle frame. You start it by pedaling the bicycle while it's on the rear stand and get it started, or it can be pushed as well to get it going. They're very rare. I really can't tell you exactly how many are left in the world. I found mine in New Zealand, where a son of a recently deceased man who was 85 years old was still riding it on the New Zealand Mail Run Rally up until just 2 years ago.
John Landstrom brought a wonderful collection of bikes, including one of the truly historic milestones in the development of the motorcycle.
I brought my oldest BMW, 1925 R32, and that's the first motorcycle that BMW made. A lot of people don't know that, but they made motorcycles before they made automobiles. And a lot of the things about this R32 are still carried over today. It's still an opposed twin. It's got shaft drive. It was designed by Max Fritz. Story is he was an aircraft engine designer, and they were so pleased with his design that they put a stove in his office after he designed the bike, so he had his own heat. I know of about 10 here in the United States, and I'm sure there's a few dozen throughout Europe, but you don't see one every day. I would definitely say it's number one. It sits in my office normally, right in front of my desk. I don't have any windows in my office, but I can look at this motorcycle anytime I want. This is what I would like to see motorcycle events become, because too often we're out in some dusty field somewhere, and I think it just raises the level a little bit, and we deserve it. We love our bikes, and we have a lot invested in them, and this is the kind of places that I'd like to come to.
When you grow up with all these bikes, you know, like I can remember bikes from the 50s, and I see one here, it brings back memories. So that's what I like about it.
There's so much to see in the Southeast. We live in California now, so you gotta think ahead before you come back here. Yeah, we like this area. I like this show.
We're trying to bring the most elegant, historic, memorable motorcycles in the world in one place where everybody can come out and enjoy them and just have a great time. So I think in the future it's going to be more of the same, only bigger and better.
We're revving up for the state-of-the-art in custom